how to make a man fear losing you. In this video, we will talk about how to make a man definitely want to be around, want to spend a lot of his time with a woman, fear losing her, and not think about anyone else. And let me say right away, there are two paths here, manipulations or sincerity. The choice is yours. So let's go step by step if we see that manipulation in relationships with a man works and it acts on the feeling of fear. Then these relationships can last for a while. But the thing is, fear is a destructive emotion, and it ultimately leads to the destruction of relationships. That is, if you choose manipulations, then relationships based on fear can last for a while, but ultimately they will be destroyed. Why does this happen? We all cannot stay in a state of tension. For a long time, we cannot hold on to an emotion for an extended period. Remember, for example, yourself during exams. Remember yourself in some difficult situations when you experience those emotions that you would rather not have felt. You don't want to go back there over time. Relationships built on manipulations and the partner's fear of losing their partner eventually come to an end because the partner doesn't like experiencing the emotions they feel around their partner. What does fear lead to? It creates distance between them, gradually but surely. Distrust is born from fear, jealousy is born, distrust is born, suspicions are born, and those negative emotions are born that people experience in relationships, which they generally do not want to experience. Furthermore, fear leads to various manipulations, various pressures. Manipulations, for example, on feelings of guilt and so on. That is, manipulations lead to such destructive emotions. And in such relationships, where there is a lot of fear and manipulations, there is, of course, no love, joy, or happiness. That is, relationships built on manipulations can last for a while, can be sustained by fear, can be sustained by feelings of guilt or other emotions, but all of this is short-lived. That is, it will come to an end exactly at the moment when the victim gets tired of experiencing this emotion, when he gets fed up with feeling what he feels. And the moment he wants to experience other emotions, the relationship will be destroyed. So, let's talk about how to build a relationship in an eco-friendly way, so that a man fears losing his partner not in a destructive state, not in a state of fear, but when he doesn't want to let go of his partner simply because he feels good, comfortable, happy with her, and lives in pleasure with her. And the first thing that is necessary is, of course, creating relationships based on love, sincerity, and trust. These are the three pillars that create the very foundation on which everything rests. If you build relationships on the feeling of love, then many obstacles, adjustments, and difficulties in the relationships will be easier to overcome because this feeling of love helps to surmount various challenges. If there is sincerity in your relationships, then there is also trust in your relationships. When people can talk about various problems and situations with sincerity, touching each other's souls, there is trust because no one is hiding anything from anyone, and that is always felt. These emotions should indeed be the foundation for building relationships that are intended to be long-term. Let's start in order. What should you do to create such relationships? First, be yourself. Be that individual. There is no need to reinvent yourself. At the very beginning of relationships, people start playing games, creating images and roles for themselves, and often are not being themselves. They want to be different, to appear different. If a person is still trying to show an improved version of themselves, it's not so bad in principle, because the person wants to present themselves in the best light. But if a person starts to display qualities that they don't possess, qualities borrowed from someone else, then it's a dead end, because that's not you, it's not your individuality, it's someone else. Any pretense is perceived as dishonesty in relationships, and such a person is usually not trusted. Therefore, maintain your individuality and be yourself. This will help you build long-term happy relationships. Moving on. Support in relationships. Provide support to each other. When a man needs support and knows that you will support him with words, actions, or simply by being there when he needs it, he will know that he has a reliable backing. In return, he will act the same way towards you. And this support for each other greatly unites and strengthens people in relationships. If you support each other, you become such reliable friends to one another who come to each other for advice, help, and support, knowing that they won't be judged or criticized further, but instead will be given wings. So, support is very important in relationships. Next, personal space. This is again very important for each partner. If you pressure your partner, not allowing them to see their friends, go fishing or hunting, or whatever they enjoy, you are not giving them a chance to breathe. Switch to something else, for example, spend time in the company of men and recharge with that very male energy. He can't switch off. You don't let him if you create a scene every time he plans to go out with friends. Therefore, definitely allow your man to have that personal space, and you should have it as well. You can meet with friends, engage in some of your interesting activities, such as dancing, drawing, or other hobbies, but your personal space should be maintained. Otherwise, you both will just get bored in the relationships and lose interest in each other. Therefore, do not deprive each other of personal space. Furthermore, remember your worth, and this is very important in relationships. Girls and women tend to doubt themselves, their appearance, their achievements, and other aspects. And this frequent comparison that happens with a woman, she starts comparing herself to other women. But if, let's say, you behave this way, it's a road to nowhere. There can always be a woman nearby who is better in some way, more successful in some way, perhaps more beautiful, perhaps taller, perhaps with longer legs, and so on. Therefore, you should not compare yourself to anyone, but learn to love yourself. Notice your successes, notice your achievements, notice your wonderful character traits. Admire the features of your appearance. Appreciate the beauty that nature has endowed you with. Admire your uniqueness. Love yourself and value yourself. A man can really sense when a woman loves herself and is confident, and being with such a woman makes him feel special. Therefore, another way to ensure a man always stays by your side is to remember your own value. Next, an interesting activity for yourself, that is, your hobby, something that fills you with energy, something that inspires you, something that makes you happier. Don't deprive yourself of any hobbies. When a woman gets married, she might at some point relax and think, well, that's it, I'm married now, so I don't need makeup anymore. I can stop going to the gym, and so on. But that is, again, a mistake. Life doesn't end with marriage. It only begins, let's say, in a new status. So why do many women make the mistake of thinking that marriage is the final stop? But it's just the beginning. Be that unique version of yourself. Develop your wonderful qualities. Marriage is like a new chapter in your life. For example, being married allows you to realize yourself in new ways. You can give wings, for example, to your man, and he can grow and open up with you as well. Explore new facets. Therefore, engage in something, pursue self-development, do what inspires you, what expands you. And, believe me, your life in relationships will not feel like a prison. It will not feel like some kind of darkness and dullness, but on the contrary, it will be painted with bright colors. Next, give the man the opportunity to feel needed. For a man, this is actually very important. Women who start competing in relationships with a man do themselves a disservice. In other words, at some point, a man starts to perceive a woman as just another man beside him. It is better to set aside the competitive aspect when you are with a man. Give him the opportunity to feel strong, important, and needed when he is with you. He needs to feel this in order to realize himself in this world, for some of his achievements. Therefore, if you give him those very wings, of course, such a man will always be by his partner's side. Next, do not try to change him. It is a huge mistake when a girl enters a relationship, gets married, for example, and thinks, I will change all of this in him. This is a misconception right from the start. When you enter into a relationship, look openly at the person, consider all their strengths and weaknesses. If something really bothers you, if there is a flaw that irritates you so much that you want to change the man, then perhaps it is not worth entering into such a relationship. Choose a man with flaws that suit you, ones you are willing to tolerate, where you will not waste a huge amount of your energy trying to break another person. People do not change. They change themselves by their own will. But if someone wants to change another person, then that person is an aggressor, and it leads to abusive relationships that will spiral into a downfall. Therefore, when looking at your future partner, your man, think about whether you are ready to accept him with the set of flaws he has. Or do you want to start a struggle and a war against his flaws? Next, respect, communication, and trust. These are the foundations of happy relationships. Respect your partner. This is your choice. You were the one who said yes to him. If you choose a person and then start mocking them among friends, girlfriends, and relatives, it says more about you. After all, it is your choice. And was your choice really so bad that now, for example, you are mocking him? And if it's your choice, then why are you behaving this way? If there is something you don't like about your partner and some of his current behavior really bothers you, have enough respect for him to talk about the situation without airing your grievances publicly, without mocking him, and without discussing it with friends, relatives, or others. Instead, speak openly with each other. Respect your choice, and then your partner will respect you. Trust each other. Trust is the foundation on which a happy life ends. Long-term relationships are built. Therefore, it is very important to build everything on trust in a relationship. Do not doubt your partner's words. If you see that your man lies a lot, then this is no longer a matter of trust. But if the man has never betrayed you, then learn to trust him. And open communication is what makes your relationship friendly. And friendship in a relationship is very important. Passion exists at the very beginning, then it slowly transitions into strong love. But between these feelings, there is often friendship, which helps people go through difficult trials in their lives. So, build your relationships in such a way that they include that very friendship, which is indispensable. That's all I have to say about this video. This was Alice Vardomskaya. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Write in the comments what you would like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell, and goodbye everyone.